Wrestling Mayhem Show. Since 2006, the pioneer in pro wrestling podcasting.
This show is brought to you by IndieWrestling.us and IndieWrestling.network for your independent wrestling entertainment. Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Do what you got to do, make it last.
It is the Wrestling Mayhem Show, episode 860 Tuesdays. We've been talking about professionalized wrestling. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And with me, the only Mayhemmer who had the future endeavor letter from the WWE. He is Mad Mike.
Oh, Sorg, do you feel a draft in here? I feel like there's been a draft in here for a couple days.
Yeah, yes.
Oh.
Yes. But we're not going to acknowledge it until halfway through the show. Also with us, representing commentary, he's a one half of the voices of Renegade Wrestling Alliance, Prospect Pro Wrestling, and Revenge Pro out of Erie, Pennsylvania. It is Tony Kincaid.
I am, in fact, that person. I don't
Confirmed.
You are correct. And part owner of the Wrestle Mayhem Show. This is the first time I've been on.
Oh, that's right. Rats in a trench coat in person via Zoom.
Mr. Rats in a trench coat to you, sir.
I see. How's the neck doing?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing great.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you just went right for it, Sorg. Can't you tell that?
I certainly have not.
Since he's been on last, and he took that really bad spear from Rev a bit ago.
A really bad spirit. Freaking shook my entire body. My back's still screwed up. The back's doing better. What's killing me is the fact that I can't sleep more than 3 hours a night because of Rev Ron Hunt. Mm-hmm. And I really appreciate that from the guy. Still never got an apology. He apologized to the fans. He didn't apologize to me. But whatever. We'll deal with that later. We'll talk about that later.
But anyways, this is the Wrestling Mayhem Show. You can check out everything at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. You can hit us at that email address.
Good times
at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. You can also hit up the website, WrestlingMayhemShow.com. You can also subscribe to the podcast wherever you would like to do that. And wait, is this an old one? It's talking about the super feed and stuff. I don't think this is the proper one. What is happening here? What's up? What?
You have some cheese on you.
I have my cheese on my head. Oh, I came back from Wisconsin. And cheese sporadically grows on my head. Hold on, let me take care of it. Hold on a second. There we go. It might come back later. Anyways.
Are you related to Steve Blackman in any way?
See, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, did you meet up with Chester McCheeserton?
No, oh my God. I should have been on a search for Chester McCheeserton the whole time.
You really should have been.
Because there was nothing else to do in Oshkosh except for the event we were working.
Yeah, it's fucking Wisconsin. I told you can get an overall sense of it just by the name.
Yeah. I have family in Manitowoc. Be nice to Wisconsin.
That's not a real word.
Manitowoc is a real word.
Manitowoc was that jobber that wore the bull's head in the ring.
No, that was
couldn't even get in the ring.
That was Manitor.
Anyways, you can hit us up at Mayhem Show. We are here live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern after the NXT runover on the Wrestling Mayhem Show Facebook page, on the YouTube page, as well as the Sorgatron Media Twitch and the IndieWrestling.us YouTube and Twitch pages, where you can join in. And we got an eye out on all those chatters out there as I'm pulling up the Facebook one. And also thank you to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show, our friends at the fan of the show level, Bo Diggity! Woo! As well as Ed Burke, Team Ham, and Fist and Bobby FJ Town. And the Poppy Club level, oh no, this is not the right thing. Rats in a Trench Coat, Tony Kincaid, and I don't know why this isn't in the stock. I don't think it's been updated. Also, Dave Potter, spouse of Roos Jewelry Affair at roosjewelryaffair.com. It's a mouthful. Everybody on that level. It's weird. And also thank you to our friends at the Pizza Club Oval, Doc Remedy, and The Riz, and at the manager level, Bradley. You guys can support the show too at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. All right, let's get into the news for the week. First of all, my God, this Backlash.
Yeah.
My God, Friday night we were watching. And
Backlash was sick.
thankfully, there's nothing else to do in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And Guardians we were seeing Sunday. And there's a whole other conversation there. And
Wait, no spoilers on what team?
no spoilers on on Guardians? No.
Oh, I'm
no.
assuming Guardians. No, we won't spoil shit.
No, we won't spoil Guardians. No. And I don't know if
Everyone dies.
Well, yeah. I love when people are like,
I'm
"Oh, they're completely
kidding.
doing this, and this." I'm like, ah. So, anyways, we watched Friday night. We watched Saturday. Puerto Rico was freaking crazy, off the hook the entire weekend. I loved watching both nights of WWE. Loved
Puerto
it.
Rico was goddamn lit. That's what it was.
Yeah, absolutely. It was so crazy. I want them to go back all the time. I know that we can talk about in a moment about why that may not be happening anytime soon. But man, I really there's a thing I've been reading about in contemplating this idea, because I think we talked about last week maybe about how Nick Khan talks about how WrestleMania in LA was intentional because of all the execs for the rights that are up next year, right? So they're pretty much holding those meetings now and trying to schmooze them up. But also the fact that and when you talked about the fact that WWE is not going to be on mainland for a pay-per-view until SummerSlam.
Yep.
So I mean, but
Still wild to think about.
But my God, you're going from the WrestleMania that was what it was. That spectacle that was in their backyard of the people you're trying to impress, going to Puerto Rico and having one of the wildest crowds ever, and again announcing that you're breaking records because you've never done this much with a Backlash before. That's for sure. They're going to do probably something crazy for London for Money in the Bank. The Saudi show does what those always do. Plus, they're putting a lot of story behind it this time. To be able to say, hey, we're going here and here, here, and here, and doing the biggest takeover, holy crap events. That's astonishing for them. WWE's just taken their event dick and putting it on the table internationally.
Yeah, pretty much. I do have a requirement though for the future.
Okay, for Puerto Rico or for that event dick?
For every pay-per-view, for every premium live event, excuse me.
Okay.
We always need to run a stadium where the intro can be a drone shot from the outside.
Oh my
to
God.
the inside. That was the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Yes.
It was somehow a POV shot of you walking into the arena, but at the same time, very much not. And it was one of the coolest shots of the whole weekend. And a weekend filled with really cool shots.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was just awesome.
I felt like at a certain point I kept looking at them like, did they not bring a jib camera and they're just using the drone all night? Because
I think it's the layout of that particular venue that they were at, because there's most places in the US, like in the mainland US, have like big ass concourses and stuff like that between the and some places when you walk in, you're not even at the level where the arena doors are. Like you have to go up, usually a couple flights. Like MSG, you have to go up like 4 flights before you even get to the 100 level seat.
Yeah, and the only thing I can think of something like this working is in the Dallas or the SoFi stadiums, because there is that thing where you walk in right on the 3rd level, right? So like you could completely do something like that there. But I also wonder, and I don't know how Puerto Rico is, because I know a lot of places we go for events, there'll be drone activity. I know there was in Wisconsin at the event we were working this weekend, and it's very difficult to get that kind of thing in proximity of patrons, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe the rules are looser because you are in Puerto Rico, and again, not main state Americas, where it seems they're getting locked down more and more every day. Maybe that was a loose thing they could do because of the arena, because of where they were and the restrictions that were maybe not there on them. Because like that was there's a lot of logistics to make that work, and they freaking did it live.
And that's
it
the
was
thing.
Wonderful.
That's the thing
Go
that
ahead,
shocked me about it was like to do that live. Like you can do that shot like with multiple takes. Like if you have the time to do it, you can do that shot. But you had to go through rehearsal of the flight pattern, rehearsal of the shot, all that stuff. But you only have one take to do it. So you're essentially doing it like a wrestling match. You screw it up, it's live. You're just gonna have to deal with it. To still have the gumption to do something that's not really done regularly. I mean, it's being done in the NFL because the NFL's outdoor stadiums. It's a lot easier for outdoor venues, of course. But to do that in the situation they were in Puerto Rico, like, and it just showed that they were not half-assing this. I felt that's how I felt about it. This was not a pay-per-view premium live event that was put out there just as okay, we need to find a B show, C show to fill space between now and SummerSlam. They put good story behind this. When I get a chance, I'm going to throw heaps of praise on Bad Bunny. So let me know when that comes up. Overall.
At some point, we need to do a new power ranking of celebrities in wrestling.
Okay,
Oh,
number one
seriously.
is Bad Bunny.
Yes.
Number 2 is a blank spot. And number 3 is Logan Paul begrudgingly.
Okay.
No, because Bad Bunny is in a league of his own. He is when it comes to athleticism, Logan Paul is probably above Bad Bunny. But when it comes to pure passion, I buy Bad Bunny as someone who cares more about this business than Logan Paul, because Logan Paul comes off to me as a grifter.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
So
I'd also throw Stephen Amell in there.
Stephen Amell's close.
I'm throwing Stephen Amell.
Yeah. This is a good conversation.
I'm throwing Stephen Amell.
Wait, where does Shaq go?
Shaq, toward the bottom.
Toward the bottom.
A little bit above the bottom. He's above Drew Carey. He's above Drew Carey.
Oh yeah, okay.
I said toward the bottom. He's not at the bottom.
This really kind of the more and more, because I know we would lament in years past about how people don't get opportunities on WrestleMania, and it's kind of not about that anymore, because it's part of that WWE machine. Like if you're made, you're made going into WrestleMania. You know what I mean? It feels to me like there's
not necessarily. I think the main event, if you're made, you're made. I think the place to really make yourself is if you get undercard opportunity.
Well, undercard, but even your undercard, I just remember last year, you had your Johnny Knoxville spot, you had your Pat McAfee spot, like it's this kind of celebrity
but the undercard last year where someone was supposed to be made and probably wasn't because of an injury was Rick Boogs.
Okay, sure.
Rick Boogs, that was supposed to be, I think, a showcase piece for him, and unfortunately with that injury, he wasn't able.
Could have been, or could have just been.
That's sports. That's sports. It happens.
Yeah.
The thing is, it takes 2 to tango. With Bad Bunny coming in, this guy is the biggest music star in the world right now. No question about it. The stats say it. He's the most streamed artist in the world. He's the most downloaded artist in the world.
The only person they could get in music that is potentially bigger is if Taylor Swift just randomly wrestled Rhea Ripley.
Right. If Taylor Swift,
give me Tay-Tay and Ripley and Mommy. Tay-Tay and Mommy. Hello.
That would sell. That would 100% sell.
Jeez.
But no, it's Bad Bunny and Taylor Swift 1, 2, and you can argue like worldwide it's Bad Bunny, probably US it's Taylor Swift. And he's going out there and doing a hardcore match with Damian Priest. You don't have to.
In terms of guys who definitely don't have to do this, but is giving it his fucking all, Bad Bunny's number 1 with a bullet. Far and away. Because he doesn't need to do this in the slightest.
Can I also give flowers out to Carlito for finally getting his return moment that he deserved a couple years ago. Wasn't able to get it because of COVID.
Carlito
and finally got that pop that man
Yes.
deserved. He was an underrated piece during a very lean time in WWE. He had a great gimmick in I Spit in the Face of people who don't want to be cool. It was not appreciated. Twitter, like my Twitter, which is just all wrestlers, former WWE, current WWE, Chris Masters posted something. He was so happy for Carlito for finally getting his moment. And it was touching. It meant a lot.
And Carlito's a guy I've seen a couple of times on the Indies. Chris Masters, I just filmed a Mania weekend as well. And those are guys that, you know, have continued to impress, especially Carlito. I mean, he came back a couple years ago and I'm just like, damn, Carlito. Like, still in shape, really good work.
He had his
really
Rumble
delivering.
comeback. He had his Rumble comeback during the Thunderdome era.
That is true. That is true.
So that's why, like, he did. But that pop was nuclear.
Yes.
Like the biggest Apple, the biggest pop that Apple's gotten since fucking Isaac Newton.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that.
Mm-hmm. So Tina's saying Bad Bunny headlined both nights of Coachella, appeared at the Met Gala. Yeah, that came up. That was listening to another podcast, and he came up and was like, Bad Bunny's everywhere. This is a tech podcast talking about the Met Gala and Bad Bunny. And did the street fight. You know, what's Dwayne Johnson's excuse for not showing up? So no, and by the way, I got a link in the Wrestling Mayhem Show group, a really great podcast interview with The Rock, with two I don't know much about the show, but I think it's like two NFL guys, and it's a very, very cool hour conversation they have with them about things, including the XFL actually. Yeah, no, but this is like that thing, you know, and Logan Paul, over my hate him, Logan Paul fucking delivers, you know, in the ring.
He does.
Oh my God.
No, absolutely.
Like, as a performer,
I will say, Logan Paul on the microphone leaves a lot to be desired.
Sure.
Logan Paul in the ring is absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bad Bunny in his segments, he's killed it every time.
Mm-hmm.
He's killed. He has a perfect record.
He's more of a performer, I feel, than Logan Paul, right? Like,
well, also it doesn't hurt Bad Bunny that he's never had. Logan Paul's still trying to run an apology tour. You know, in the PR world, you know, you have to. This dude's still trying to come back from the Suicide Forest incident, and he will never come back from that.
No, that's
he's a trash human being. But his WrestleMania moment, you know, all credit in the world to Logan Paul. His WrestleMania moment, and for WrestleMania, probably Logan Paul over Bad Bunny makes sense in the scheme of it all. But for Puerto Rico, for the Latino community, Bad Bunny showing out in front of a Puerto Rican crowd, which Puerto Rico is part of the United States, and people don't know that.
Yes. Yes.
And
we also notoriously don't treat them like part of the United States.
We do not treat them like United States. You know, we treat them like a third-class country. They are not. They are a territory of the United States. These are Americans. And for Bad Bunny to show up and show out on an international stage and show Puerto Rico love, like the only thing that was missing from that love letter to Puerto Rico was Lin-Manuel Miranda showing up. like that's literally the only thing that was missing during Backlash.
I think he'd take a powerbomb.
Lin-Manuel's a huge wrestling fan. Low key, no one remembers this. This man is a huge wrestling fan.
That's why he booked The Rock.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why he booked The Rock.
Wait. What do you mean he booked The Rock? In what context?
Moana.
Oh, wait, he wrote the Moana?
He wrote the Moana soundtrack.
Oh,
yeah.
Was not aware. Okay.
Yeah, he was the one that made sure Dwayne go, I see what's happening here. You're face to face with greatness and you're scared. Now we can't sing anymore because we'll get sued.
But that's okay. Somebody just performed Hotel California last show, and I'm waiting for that notice to come in.
Tina also brings up a great point with Carlito and the Colognes in general. Like, they are royalty in Puerto Rico.
Absolutely.
So to have Puerto Rico, which also in wrestling parlance, Puerto Rican wrestling has such a negative connotation because of, you know, situations that occur, Bruiser, Brody specifically. To have such a great event in Puerto Rico is such an important thing. Now
here's the biggest question coming out of Backlash. Why the fuck wasn't that the main event?
Sometimes
Why?
the main event's not the last match on the card.
I know, but why, if you're in Puerto Rico and you want to showcase this, why isn't the last thing you're seeing on that show the entire LWO with a giant Puerto Rico flag in the middle of the ring? Instead, you're seeing a pissed off Brock with a cut open forehead that wasn't supposed to happen.
No, Brock Lesnar can. If Brock Lesnar,
Yeah, but it
wants
wasn't supposed to be that.
I will position that I think the decision would be made because the Bad Bunny match is for the people there. The other match is for the people at home. For what
Are you saying there are not Puerto Rican people that are watching it on Peacock?
I am saying the WWE mindset perception, which I don't agree with, would be that's the main event for everybody watching at home. Because everybody watching at home wants to see Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes.
I still think they should have called an audible. I still think. I think this show should have opened with Zelina and closed with Bad Bunny.
I would say I'm not a booker. I don't know what goes into that. I just listened to a story today about the booking of the WrestleMania with Chris Jericho and Triple H and the thoughts behind that, and why didn't we put The Rock and Hogan at the end? It's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's whatever.
And it was a stupid decision.
Whatever hard line they say. No, X needs to be last. No, these guys need to be last because they're our stars. Like put that before the reality of the situation, right? Welcome to wrestling booking.
And I do have to point out what's being featured in the replay stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Brock versus Cody.
Yeah.
So in the moment, Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest may not have been the main event, in the last show, but replay value, that's the match that they're using to promote the network.
And I would also say, less and less. I take this mentality with this show. Less and less is the bulk of the show that you sat and watched. What becomes more important now are the tweets and the replays and the captured content on multiple platforms, right? Even though we're on Peacock and that is a very significant number, I would almost position that more people will see that Bad Bunny moment on any platform except for Peacock.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So,
but at the same time,
but Mike, then who's your audience that you're trying to serve? Who does it really matter to at this point, other than somebody's ego in the back?
But if you know one match is going to get more social media hits, why wouldn't you put it at the end of your show so that when people go to watch Peacock,
egos and politics?
Hold on.
Egos and politics.
It's not just that. Sorg, I can give some insight on this because I'm an actual PR professional. So, little known fact: you hook people with the middle, not with the end. You hook them with the front or the mid or the end, never the end, because the end's not the hook. So if you are a Bad Bunny fan who knows that he played in 2 nights of Coachella and was at the Met Gala, and you're seeing on his feed because you've been following Bad Bunny trends on the Bird app, and you are now seeing this video and you know zero about wrestling, you are going to watch that match, go to Peacock, sign up for your free trial or whatever, watch that match, and then go, whoa, and you're going to end up falling into the main event.
Yes, and what is the story coming out of the show? Not Bad Bunny, not that situation. That's the end. The story coming out of that for you to follow into the next show until Monday night and whatever is going to be Brock and Cody.
Okay,
you need to be left hanging on the thing and the question marks in your head on the thing that makes you tune in on Monday night, Mike. Right?
That didn't make me tune in on Monday.
That's not Mike. You're not the fucking audience here.
No, I know, but
you're not the audience. You're not the Bad Bunny stand that tuned in for that we're trying to hook through.
When did Bad Bunny play at Coachella? Was he in the middle? Oh no. He closed the show.
Because Bad Bunny is a known music artist, not a known wrestler. We're trying to bring music artists into wrestling. This
WrestleMania 11.
Listen, if Brock Lesnar
which was 30 years ago, Mike.
If Brock Lesnar showed up,
it worked then.
It won't work now. I promise you, it won't work now.
WrestleMania 11 wasn't even in New York, and Lawrence Taylor closed that show.
And it's one of the worst It's the worst one of the worst WrestleManias of all time.
Yeah, but not because of the main event. The main event still
It doesn't. I'm just telling you. In 2023, that's not how this will work. 100%. That's not how this will work.
Well, maybe. What if they tried it?
They have. It didn't work. We're going to.
When
the new
did they
thing.
try it?
I'm sure they've tried it.
It worked with Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn is a pro wrestler, not a musician.
I'm saying hometowners.
Okay.
Well,
that's a different conversation. I'm not having.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying you close with what the loudest pop is gonna be. The loudest pop is not going to be that finish to the Cody and Brock match. That's not the loudest pop.
I know some people listen that actually book wrestling, and I really love their opinions. So I really want good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com because we don't book wrestling here on the show.
No, well, I do want a video game.
I was gonna say we book wrestling on the show. I'm using quotations. But I really would love an informed opinion on this kind of idea.
I can book your D&D campaign. That's about it.
There you go. There you go. By the way, Top Rope Tabletop returns this Friday.
Check out that segue. Didn't you like that? That was good.
And you can check out that and so much more over at indiewrestling.us. Top Rope Tabletop will be Friday night and with a special mystery guest.
Who is it?
You don't know. I don't. I think your Dungeon Master is the only one to know. And even Tony, your special guest will be sequestered until we start the stream.
Oh, God damn.
Oh, man. Are you bringing the special guest in like they do at wrestling shows in a golf cart covered with a black tarp?
No, we're going to ask them to show up about 3 hours before you guys do. And we have a nice green room in the back that's sequestered and everything, and there's video games, and we'll have some refreshments for them that none of you will get.
Is that why there was the charge to the Top Rope Tabletop credit card ice machine? Was that why that was that?
Yeah, that's why.
Okay.
That's why.
Oh, got it.
Right. There's an espresso machine back there. There's a.
I thought the champagne was a little bit obtuse, but okay, fine.
I don't know who wants the brown M&Ms. That was weird. But anyways, so special that's going to be happening coming up here. And do they even still have brown M&Ms? I don't remember.
Well, you had to take all the brown M&Ms out, or else Ozzy wouldn't go on stage.
Exactly. Same with our guest here on Friday night. So something about the green ones. Anyways, check out that. So much going on, including the latest. Oh my God, this Prospect Pro Wrestling with Otis Kogar. Shit. Oh, it is something. It is not for the squeamish. Him and Jamie Jameson, they're a surprise match. So that's which comes together because when you injure your opponent and leading into a big match, you need to replace the opponent to make up for it. So. But no, it was a great show there. Of course, the Renegade Wrestling Alliance, big show coming up here, coming off of the amazing cage match between J-Rock and the Rev Ron Hunt this past show. All that's a part of Indie Wrestling Network, or if you're a Ringside member over on the YouTube page, you get all of those shows as well, plus free content, including Spotlight Slam that's popping up on Fight and for free, as well as the YouTube page, and of course the T2T Thursday night fights at 880 Wrestling that is on all the IndieWrestling.us and network platforms for free. So yeah, go check out all of that stuff over there at IndieWrestling.us, and you can go catch up with some Top Rope Tabletop. Throw it in the background while you're working or running or something. It's a good listen. And especially if you have it on YouTube, you can throw it in the background. I guess if you have premium, but anyways, IndieWrestling.us. Speaking of which, Renegade Wrestling Alliance this weekend. A few shows. Rise Wrestling also running this weekend with a big match with I will shout out Ronnie Rolls match between Pretty Boy Smooth and Ron Mathis, which is definitely something to check out. But also, literally, I have people battling between which show to go to with everything that's going on this weekend. And there's some choices will be made. But I don't think both houses will be full because this keeps happening. And people are showing up to all the shows, and it's fantastic to see. Same thing happened a couple weeks ago when there was 2 Friday night shows, and literally Prospect. Can we talk about Prospect Pro Wrestling is out of chairs?
Can we talk about that being the biggest crowd Prospect? We've been around for 5 years now. That was the biggest crowd we've ever had. Pre-sold numbers were through the roof, and we had so many walk-ups that we ran out of chairs. It was standing room only.
Wow.
I had to give up a chair begrudgingly, and then I had to steal the chair back from a kid. I don't feel bad for the kid. They cried, and I was fine with it. But the point of the matter is, Prospect Pro Wrestling is exploding. Pro wrestling in the Pittsburgh/Ohio Valley is exploding. If you are not checking out multiple companies, you are missing out on guaranteed entertainment every weekend ad infinitum. Check out shows.
Absolutely. And side note, because I just mentioned his name, I don't want to forget about that. I want to give a shout out. If you can get on Amazon Prime, it is a purchase for you over there. But our friend Pretty Boy Smooth has actually been featured in a film that's come out called Shingles, as over on that platform. It's an independent film that I know he's been working on for a bit. I see interesting stuff on his Instagram from time to time. I don't know. This is the trailer, and there's a creepy cat. If you're with us on video, so I just wanted to throw that out there as well. Support a friend of the show. It is a spooky movie. I don't know if it's officially.
It's giving me some crazy like '90s Goosebumps vibes. I'm here for it. I'm gonna have to check this out.
There's a lot. Oh, geez, I didn't see this trailer.
Yeah, this is 100% like some Goosebumps vibes.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's Pretty Boy Smooth. There he is. So go check that out. I've already purchased it. I still need to have a sit down to watch it. But it's a 2-hour movie. Wow, they really put that in. An R-rated horror comedy anthology film inspired by 90s horror TV shows and adapted from a book series of the same name. So I think that's where your Goosepimples vibe comes from. Goosebumps. Yes. I skipped Goosebumps. So,
what?
I was not a Goosebumps. I think I may have read a book. My brother had like all the books. So this is a generational.
You
thing.
uncultured swine.
Uncultured.
I was more of a Fear Street guy.
I was more of a
Fear Street guy.
That's fine.
I'm more of a scary stories to tell in the dark, and My Teacher's an Alien. Read the entire series.
All acceptable, but Goosebumps, the GOAT.
Where's my Teacher's an Alien adaptation?
It didn't sell well. What do you want?
I bought them all.
Sorg, just watch The Faculty.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, just watch that. It's my wife's favorite movie.
Is it
like legit?
What?
Like legit. That's her comfort movie.
Oh my god! Like Me with Hackers.
That's her comfort movie. I'm not even joking about that at all.
Oh man.
I've seen The Faculty more times in the past 4 years than I think the cast of The Faculty ever watched it.
That's fantastic. Is that the one with the PJ Harvey song in it?
No, you're thinking of Disturbing Behavior.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, wow. Maybe I do need to watch The Faculty.
The Faculty, it's a stacked cast.
Oh, yeah?
It's got Famke Janssen, Jon Stewart, Elijah Wood, Clea Duvall, Jordana Brewster, what's the...
It's on HBO Max.
Yeah, no, absolutely watch it.
I'm adding it to my list.
It's a great flick.
Might have to be
it's a great flick.
Since I don't have we'll talk about AEW later. Since I don't have Dark or Elevation to watch anymore. Anyways, back around Renegade Wrestling Lines. Christian Noir is going to be this. I don't know what happened while I've been traveling, guys. I missed the meetings, but at some point, indie wrestling. Between Rise RWA and 2PW just kind of meshed and is having a weird booking threesome right now.
Oh, it's hot. No, I think it's more of a this area is no longer going to try to eat each other's tails.
Fantastic. J-Rock's popping up to take on John McChesney.
Ironically, something you'd want to do in a threesome.
Right? Right?
That hurts. Don't make me laugh. It hurts my neck.
But J-Rock's going to take on John McChesney for the 2PW title next month. The way I just saw, Don Murphy's popping up in RWA. Christian Noir is going to be taking on the Rev in RWA.
Well, so I don't have 100% authority. I've been dealing with Feel Bad, and you know Feel Bad and I don't get along, so it's been...
I don't even know if I get along with Feel Bad from day to day. So
well, you're not the one with you're not the one with a pending litigation suit on his head right now. So
not currently.
Fair. Although, like, some situations have occurred in recent months. The reason... So I'm going to explain something, and forgive me for rambling a little bit, Sorg. I know, I try not to do that on your show, but I'm going to. I have thought for the last couple years that Dr. Feelbad has lost absolute control of this show ever since the incident occurred between O'Shea Edwards and the locker room in general that turned into an out-and-out destructive tornado that was set upon West Newton Gymnasium. When I was in the hospital, healing, getting my knee drained and all that stuff, there were assurances that this would never happen again. Since then, Dr. Feelbad, has lost complete control of this company constantly. He has put himself in situations where he controls every single aspect of the business to the point where he has no control of his business. And he hand-selected Rev to be his standard bearer. I think people forgot who Rev was when he started at RWA, and even before that, when he wrestled with Christian Noir as a member of one of the most dominant tag teams in Pittsburgh. He destroyed people as a champion with Christian Noir, brought order, see what I did there, order to wrestling. And then he came over to RWA and he attacked Chris Taylor as the leader of the pulpit, and then all of a sudden fans forgot about it. I didn't forget about it. I didn't forget the douchebag, and I'll call him that again, Rev Ron Hunt, you douchebag, that he used to be. And Christian Noir is going to help me remind Rev of who he was, who created him, which was Christian Noir, and he's going to put him into the ground. From dust to dust, from ashes to ashes, Rev. I'm done now.
Okay. If you want a reminder of what the Rev did, there's a Heaven and Hell series over on Indie Wrestling Network where we go over his feud with Chris Taylor, actually. So if you need a little bit of a refresher, there is that out there. I think we do have the first episode free over there for the really early stuff.
Phenomenal documentary, by the way. That's how I learned all this stuff. Oh, and I was also in the stands for this stuff. You think RWA fans, who are some of the most loyal wrestling fans in the area, would remember their history, but I had to remind people of it. Mm-hmm. And if you need a refresher, pay attention to RWA's Facebook page. I'm sure soon you'll get a nice little microcosm, or I just gave you one. Or do your own research, you lazy bums.
There you go.
It's not that hard.
There you go.
IndieWrestling.us has all these matches. Literally all these matches.
So a lot going on in RWA. Definitely the mood has changed over the last several months over there. A lot of new faces popping up as well. Women's wrestling finally coming back to RWA.
Yes.
Danny Jax, who I believe we've seen at VCW a few times, take on a friend of the show, the Honey Badger, amongst others popping up over there as well.
Yeah, Danny Jax, one of the premier wrestlers. Honey Badger, one of the premier women's wrestlers. Both of them are phenomenal talents. I know people in this area don't get to experience women's wrestling as much because there's, our company, the companies I work for, are constantly looking for women's talent to bring in because we think so highly of them. Unfortunately, some other company heads don't feel the same way we do, and that's on them. Cough, cough. But Danny Jax, phenomenal wrestler. Mm-hmm. And Honey Badger is a staple of this area, around this area. And both of them are going to tear the house down. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited for this matchup so much because this is the matchup that I've wanted to see as a wrestling fan, and I get to call it. Like, I get to have my moments of calling matches like this.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. So that's RWA's No Retreat. You can check out information at rwalive.com. Still, and I was still. Well, you know what? I've been saying that RWA is the most rabid crowd in the area, but again, with those hot crowds happening at 2PW and Rise, I mean, I think there's starting to be some stiff competition. Although there is a long way for them to go to catch up with RWA.
I welcome
sure.
all the competition. I am a huge fan of, obviously I work for 2PW, huge fan of Marshall, Gambino, Ben, the crew over there, Rise, Brandon K, big fans of them. Want everyone in this area to succeed because we don't have to have a monolith. We can just do our thing. The talent doesn't need to be told they can only work here exclusively. I think this triumvirate. I mean, remember a couple months ago, the Stronghold faced off against Project Society.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was in an RWA ring because they needed a neutral place to do this. Project Society found their way into. I don't agree with them on this one, but they've sort of. I thought the fans were coming to Project Society. Turns out Project Society came to the fans. Not the smartest thing in the world. Not their problem. Project X, still love you. Jesus, you idiot. But anyway, they needed a neutral space. So what did Feel Bad do? I agreed with him on this. We gave them the neutral space. They fought it out. They were in front of an RWA crowd. It was great. Well, why do we have to fight each other as companies? Just put on great shows.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's happy. Everyone eats.
Everyone eats. I like it. No, fantastic stuff happening there all over the place. Again, check PittsburghWrestling.com for all the promotions. I know there was like 2 wrestling shows happening Saturday between 880 and I think KSWA were running. And again, different flavors. Definitely different flavors. And I think that RWA versus Arise versus 2PW are different flavors even from each other that are working together, and that's really cool to see. So go check out all that stuff, and yeah, we'll be there. We'll have crew. I'm filming a dance recital on Saturday, but I should be able to make it in. And I gotta say something. And Tony, I know you've witnessed this a few times. I am getting really, really tired of going back at these shows and finding out that my video people are being assaulted. Okay? Yeah. And a lot of these have been incidents, wrong place at the wrong time. I understand that. But that somebody put their hands on a videographer last show. And it always seems to be, and it's not always. There's other stuff that have been happening too. But man, like, I don't know what is happening with our one videographer, Emily, that it just seems to keep happening and seems to be happening with a certain group of guys. And this I am seriously getting pissed about. That's happening out there.
Listen, I understand your frustration. I also understand that the videographer in question, Emily, she's quite good at what she does. She's very in tune to the business in general. What happened at RWA, of which I if you want to see it, you can. It's pretty cut and dry what happened there. Should never happened. And then the incident that occurred at 2PW, it was probably an accident, but with the good buds, you could never know. So,
of course, we're talking Preston Everest and Johnny, what's his face?
Johnny Patch. And the Johnny Patch's incident at RWA was 100% malicious. I like Johnny Patch, and even I can't really give him a lane here. He grabbed the videographer to prevent a dive against Daniel Eads. And, okay, that's going to have to be sorted out by you and Feel Bad. And this just kind of gives me a little bit more ammo that Feel Bad doesn't exactly have control. And it's not just the videographers.
And it's extending beyond the ring.
It's not just the videographers. It's not just me. It's not just the videographers. Security is getting hurt. At some point, fans might get hurt. That's and then our fans will fight back at RWA. Like
they
they're
have
nuts.
in the past. That is
they are
for
nuts.
Sure.
But this just is part and parcel of Feel Bad just not. I'm not gonna say much more because I don't want to put things to tape. But there's a reason. I have some heat with this, and there's a reason I was in the cage and I was yelling at Feel Bad. Some things need to fix. And if it has to be painful, it's going to have to be painful.
We've all had that conversation with Feel Bad, and sometimes it felt like you're in a cage. I get it.
No, I was actually in the steel cage.
You were physically in the cage.
I was physically in the steel cage.
You were.
Which is, by the way, side note, you don't realize how daunting a steel cage is until you're standing in a steel cage.
I've done it twice, yeah.
It's terrifying.
It is kind of terrifying.
Like, I'm a hard-ass son of a bitch, but that thing was terrifying. And I just was in there with Doc, and I thought Doc and I were going to have to throw down. I was kind of ready for it. But, Doc was professional for once in his life. Good for him. I was proud of him.
Anyways, go check out all that stuff, indiewrestling.us. And, of course, check out all the links, RWA Live.com, and give a shout out to our friends at RiseWrestling.com for ticket information for both of those shows. And everything else is coming up. So, with that, shouts to our friends Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. New York City made. New York City style yins are made. I just realized how close this is to the announcement of MV Young. Because for the longest time, he was Pittsburgh made, New York City paid, worldwide later, something like that. I know it's been adjusted recently, and I feel like that we've been doing parallels with the Slice on Broadway. I've endeavored to have MV Young on the show, but maybe we'll have him do this ad. Beachview, Carnegie, East End, North Hills, and the South Side works 5 locations for your pizza nomming needs. I know it is a regular, whether it is a sponsored podcast on this network or not. I know I see the remnants every time a Gay and his NB are in here recording of Slice on Broadway. Go check out our friends out there. We love it. They've been feeding us for over a decade of podcasting, and they can feed you too. Good stuff out there and good crew. And we will be right back. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk about AEW and how they doing with things. How they doing, and how was the final deletion? We'll be right back after this.
The Shadow Man Elijah, and of course, Project X. Most dangerous individuals I've seen in RWA in a long, long time. Project Society are about to have their hands full with these 2 legends. We have not seen Brandon Cage in an RWA ring since 2011. Right where he wants him, maybe flying body press and maneuver. Here comes Dean, takes him out, and oh my goodness, has him up.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
See?
Kick by Shadow Man to Big down, and here comes Elijah. Train kept her rolling. Picks him up and oh my God! Has the DDT. Death Valley. Death Valley.
Ridiculous.
How is it ridiculous?
Project X was robbed.
And you ended up on your ass because you're nothing more than a goddamn loser!
Oh boy. Oh God! All the credit in the world to Project X and Elijah.
Look out!
Oh, wait a minute!
Afternoon, it's payback time.
Fulton, gets dropped! To charge, and get one last one in on Fulton. Chambers, high into the heaven. Anything in his arsenal to take down somebody like Fulton. Wait a second!
Man.
Choke slam right on the apron! Oh my God, can go for the distance, but Fulton with that sidewalk slam.
He has the mental acumen as well.
Chambers like a lawn dart. Onto the knee, Ushigoroshi. Chambers able to land on his feet. Super kick, was him.
Oh, look out. Discus elbow.
Oh, big choke slam, food chain. Fall away slam. Chambers. Reversal.
Victory roll.
And now he has a victory over Madman Fulton.
the controversial combination of money shot.
I have never seen the runway look more motivated.
And the Rad Boys just wanted to get themselves into the conversation because instead of defending those titles against the championship pedigree tag team, they now have to contend with 2 more challengers as well. All the blood rushing to the head that have the chance to win here, but making a tag and a huge Uranagi. Nystrom goes to the floor. Wow! Cambridge is not going to relinquish these titles without a fight. Big Stereo dives as well. And Elijah D. Look out. Hard attack for Rad Boys. Just, oh, look out. Oh, man. Elijah Dean. He's going to capitalize. Steal this one. He did it. Money shot. Got it. Elijah Dean.
Back. It is a Wrestling Mayhem show. Still here with Tony Kincaid, voice of half of the promotions in the Pittsburgh, Western PA area.
Two-thirds, I think, almost.
Two-thirds. Yeah, I mean, I think that Matt's pretty close, actually. Of the ones that have commentary, of the ones that you can actually see. I
am the voice of IndieWrestling.us. I think we should.
Oh, whoa, okay. I don't know. You got let's see. LaMotta's got 2 shows.
Right.
You are on 3, but only 2 are on the network. So you're
okay.
If we're talking network, you're 50-50 with LaMotta. Right
okay.
now.
Well, so I just got to fight LaMotta in the Thunderdome, and we're gonna.
That's right. In the Commentator Dome.
Yeah.
Where there are
in
microphones, headphones hanging from the side of the cage. Man,
First person who stutters loses. Got it. Let's go, Jim.
Oh, jeez. So, Jim LaMotta, you're going down. Oh boy. Let's do it.
What if the match was we just give you guys names of really obscure New Japan wrestlers, and whoever gets the first one wrong.
I know moves. I know moves. I don't know names. I can't pronounce names, but I can do moves. If that's the case, but if it's best 2 out of 3, I can win moves. He can win names, and then the winner takes on BC Steel for the crown.
There you go.
That makes sense.
There you go. I love it. You guys are all safe because nobody.
Joe Dombrowski can be a special guest rep.
I was gonna say.
Well, Joe's untouchable. We're not trying to fight.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Over here.
He would be, the arbiter.
Yes.
I say you're all safe because Joe Dombrowski, nobody can afford him locally anymore. So I have to go to Chicago to work with Joe Dombrowski. Like, how freaking weird is that?
Hey, at least you don't have to go to Mexico.
Yeah. At least he doesn't. At least he doesn't have to go to Mexico half the time. But anyways, AEW. Speaking of other countries, officially, apparently have sold 60,000 tickets without an announced match in a country they have never been in before at Wembley Stadium for All In coming up here in late August, right? Yeah. Fantastic. My God. I knew you guys could do it. Not bad for a young company. But man, hey, the buzz is there, the appetite's there. I think this is going to be a big thing for them. On top of that, I think they've been in Canada, right?
Yes.
Yes, they've been in Canada, but of course they're having a big showing around the Toronto area for Forbidden Door.
They've had pay-per-views in Canada, I think.
A pay-per-view?
I think they had one in Calgary.
Calgary, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, was that when we did the Owen Hart
Calgary
thing?
or T-Dot. Pretty sure.
Okay. All right. T-Dot.
Toronto.
Toronto's T-Dot. I guess our guest from earlier was from Toronto, on AwesomeCast. So, but anyways, just weird how it connects together. But yeah,
Actually, no, they haven't had one in Canada
I
yet.
didn't think so.
I thought they had. They've had Dynamite in Canada.
Dynamite.
I thought they had. Didn't they have a premium event in the Stampede? I feel like they had.
No, they're having one.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My time.
They're having one. They're having one in Calgary. That's where the Owen Hart tournament's going to start.
Okay.
Okay,
And
that's where my
they're
mix-up is.
And they're doing Forbidden Door in Toronto. That's what I was thinking.
Okay. All right. But still, so AEW doing fantastic with that. Looking forward to that. I know there's quotes from Booker T. It says this is a WrestleMania, if not a SummerSlam, level event at this point with the the way that they've sold and the buzz around it. It has been interesting. I don't know if we mentioned on the show, but I keep seeing clips online of like soccer shows or football events.
You can say soccer. We're in America. We know what you mean.
Okay. for the foreigners out there. Hi Vim. But anyways,
Vim has offered to be our special correspondent.
Ooh, okay.
He's offered to be our special correspondent via Facebook. So
I like it.
We humbly accept your request, and we will figure out a way for you to send us voice memos from the show.
Well, just voice memo and email it to the Good Times of Wrestling Mayhem show.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if that works in the UK.
It's email.
I don't know. They have a new king. Who knows what's going on there now?
Plus Brexit. Yeah, you're right. So who knows what that did to the cell service. Anyways, so that's a thing that's happening. Also, did you guys watch the final deletion or the firm deletion? The firm deletion.
Firm deletion.
I did.
I watched the extended cut on YouTube because I didn't get a chance to watch Rampage.
Why did you do that to yourself?
I did it too.
Oh, come on.
Oh my God. Why do you two hate yourselves so much?
Okay. All right. And I don't know what that compares to what it was on the show, on the actual show. So we're not in with the deletion?
No.
No?
Not this.
This one was not the most fun. No.
There was no Lake of Reincarnation. There was no sentient lawnmower. Like, come on. Like, where's the chutzpah, Matthew?
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
I
know Jeremy Borash isn't there, but at least have like a mower of lawns, a Skarsgård, the dilapidated boat. Come on, give me something.
We had a burning logo at the end.
I don't care about burning logo.
I cared that Lee Moriarty was in it. That was cool.
Yeah, that was
great. Fucking Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Also,
that's just how Lee rolls out of bed in the morning. Let's be frank.
He showed up in his pajamas.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I need to look something up about.
So while you're looking that up, I do want to say this was probably my least favorite of the deletion matches.
Ditto.
I thought it was very long, and it did not have as much camp, because Matt is not broken, in the same sense as he was in TNA, and I wasn't the biggest fan of his version in WWE either.
Mm-hmm.
There was it was new when it was in TNA. It was goofy. It had some fresh sheen on it. This felt overdone and not in the good way. This was like a dried out steak. I felt all steak, no sizzle. Sure, let's go with the old adage.
I appreciate Caprice Coleman. I
spiked. I was like, Caprice, CNC Wrestle Factory, they're all back. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So my favorite part of the firm deletion, I had to look it up because I wanted to make sure I got the part right. When Stokely Hathaway entered the movie theater and wondered if they had Coming to America, and then was attacked by Goth Baby. That was my favorite part. That was like, okay, this is some of the original magic.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it was.
And I love the connection because I remember one of the several years ago, I think pre AEW, there was a fantastic cinematic match between Stokely and Orange, if you recall, that went all over. I don't know.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, like all kinds of buildings and stuff. So I thought it was cool that he was included in this one and got attacked by.
I wish he was included more. Like honestly, I wish he was.
How many
more
Hardy
involved in-
bays are there?
20.
Oh, there's
Holy
a lot.
shit! Is he running a
There's a
farm?
lot.
What the fuck?
Be careful, Remy. Remy will message you if she finds out you called her kids farm animals.
No,
Don't do that.
No, I didn't. No, I said
Rebby loves us here.
No,
Okay.
Rebby retweeted us last week. No, I don't mean.
Rebby
I'm
loves
not
us here.
referring them like far. I mean, no, sorry. Listen, I'm from the country, and in my
No, Matt is just
in my
trying to
neck of
build
the
his own
woods.
Survivor Series. team.
Yes, in my
That's
neck of
all
the
it
woods,
is.
you'd have 10 kids because you need farm hands, right?
Yeah.
So I want to know what the Hardys are growing.
The compound has a lot of land, and they're in Carolina. Tobacco Road's only a few inches away. Matt,
don't-
shut your mouth.
Why do you keep calling him
Why
Matt?
do you keep calling me Matt? That's why I was confused.
I don't know. I don't know why I keep doing it, Mike. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. That's why you guys were calling me out during the break before. I'm
No,
like,
that was me, and then I.
yeah, I know.
apologize.
I'm like, are you talking about Matt Carlins? That's why I wasn't paying attention.
No, that was probably what the mix-up was in my head. Again, dealing with a concussion and a busted neck. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
medications.
it's
I got
fine.
you.
It's
I
fine.
got
I
Oh,
you. I
understand.
got you. A little cloudy over there. You got it.
A little loopy. A little
Yeah.
loopy.
Plus, you have to talk to Christian on a regular basis leading up to this thing Saturday. So I know what that
Let
does.
me just
too.
let me just put the light on Gormesh, and we'll be good.
Okay.
But I will say about this firm
There we go.
deletion. Also, the storyline going into it, not nearly as strong as it needed to be.
No. Absolutely.
Not nearly as strong as it needed to be. Like the rest of the deletions have had some kind of like intricate storyline going in. Like, and I'm sorry, the fact that we didn't throw Big Bill in the Lake of Reincarnation and he didn't say you can't teach that or something like that, huge missed opportunity.
I got you there.
Or
Okay.
Or that would have been the one accepted reason for Enzo to show up on AEW.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Mhm.
And you know Enzo's
Like
not
if we
doing
can have the
much.
Hurricanes show up in one of those matches, we can have Enzo show up.
I wanted them to throw. Ego into the Lake of Reincarnation, and he comes out as Karate Man.
Sure,
I even
sure,
had this
absolutely. Either that or hell, you throw Big Bill in the Lake of Reincarnation and then he thinks Stokely is Enzo. That's even better.
Okay. All right.
That's even 1,000 times better.
I think that the overarching sentiment was okay, but we've seen you do it before. We've seen you do it better. The other thing is it's kind of hard to watch Jeff Hardy right now, in my opinion. Like just for me, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
he
I'm
should
in the
not be
minority.
wrestling. He should not.
But
Hmm.
there's just something. The whole match was built, I think, to sort of give Jeff this storyline, like rebirth, so to speak. That seemed to be the story they were trying to tell, and that's great. Let's not forget what real world is going on with Jeff Hardy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Jeff Hardy needs to be as far away from television as possible.
And I don't want to, throw allegations out there, but I just can't see it right now.
Mhm.
I can't. And good for Matt for supporting his brother and being a loving brother, and good on the Hardy family in general for being as close-knit as they are. But it gives me that bang of drunken diner video stuff that they used to do in the 2010s back when Matt and CM Punk were feuding, and they were just shooting like or it was MySpace, Zanga Lives or whatever the freaking hell we did back
Zanga
then.
Live. What?
I don't know, man. But Tina just said this in the chat. Maxwell's Twist of Fate was pretty solid. He got some good.
Oh yeah, no,
He got
he's a
some
good
good
worker.
rotation on that one.
He might be a better worker than Jeff at this.
Nice guy, tries hard, loves the business. Like that's all we really need in Pittsburgh. Like I'll sign Maxwell to a contract right now.
There you go. I mean, Matt Hardy has been RWA before. There is history.
There is
So,
history there.
I mean, bring it back around.
what I do want in the future, a future intergender match, I want all the baby Hardys versus the she-Eeld.
What's
God
the
damn
what's the
it.
Shield?
The Shield. We've gone over this
I do, yes, and
with Seth and Becky's baby,
oh,
John and Renee's baby, and
Okay.
one of Roman's dogs. Boom. The Shield.
this could be a thing. Could be
Mhm.
a thing.
The Shield versus the Hardys. WrestleMania.
57.
Well, yeah. Sure.
That's
54.
17
Let's say
years.
54.
I'm calling,
Okay.
Let's say 50.
By the way, I'm calling my shot of WrestleMania 57 does not emanate from Pittsburgh. What are we even doing here?
Honestly. Like,
Wow.
if honestly, April weather, I know it's a coin flip. Heinz Erasure Stadium, whatever, would be a great
if they can-
venue.
If they can hold an outdoor Mania in New York, they can hold one in Pittsburgh.
And Philly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We gotta talk. Sword, you and I gotta talk about Philly at some point.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta get a van,
Yeah.
like a mini bus or something.
I gotta get through Detroit first, but
Fair enough.
I gotta get through a gathering, a Detroit, and an Aerosmith concert before I start thinking about Mania. Yeah.
And a New Japan Impact Wrestling show, right, Sorg?
Yeah, that too. Oh my God! By the way, I just got my tickets for Long Beach. I can officially say I'm going to Long Beach next weekend.
Wow.
So, you know, if you know, you know.
Sorg, just be careful. There's so much drama in the LBC. Just want you to let you know.
Yeah, that's what I hear. That's what I hear. We'll see. We'll see how much drama is there that night. Live on New Japan World, apparently.
It's okay. I'm sure you'll keep coming up with funky ass shit every single day, so it's fine.
If I end up dropping those lines on headset, I want to see who I break on this one.
I want you to do it.
I have no idea who my videographers are that night, so
I just want you to open the show and say, "Listen, guys, I don't want there to be no more drama in the LBC." And just see if you get a camera shaking from laughter.
I often do kind of an announcement at the beginning of the show, sometimes, especially when I'm working with some new people. The a little bit of get to know you thing, kind of thing, and maybe that'll be my thing for this one. So I don't know. I get a little talky on the headsets. I don't know if Tony, you've been on those.
Oh, do you now?
Yes, I get like. Well, I don't interrupt you guys that much when we have a talk back.
No, but occasionally you'll leave yourself on the headset when you're talking to the camera guys, and then I'll be like, "What'd you just say?" And then I'll text you. And you'll be like, "I wasn't talking to you."
Oh
like,
yeah,
okay, fine.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Bikini's complained about that too. He's like, "Hey, like I can hear you, like all the wild shit."
I can hear you yelling at the back to be quiet. Which I couldn't hear the back until you started yelling at the back to be quiet.
They get pretty loud back there. Anyways, so AEW had the final deletion. They got a big show in Detroit this week, with a cage match, and holy shit, a lot of great matches. But that is there. Did we talk?
Yeah,
about...
they remembered the trios champions existed. So.
Hey,
they've been working on them.
They haven't.
Come on.
The House of Black has been doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Listen, the House of Black had to deal with the internal turmoil of two of their wives facing each other in Puerto Rico this past weekend, okay?
Okay, you have a point.
Oh
but
my
still.
God. I didn't even think about that.
I thought about that during the match. I'm just like, I wonder.
You have a point.
That's actually wonderful.
I actually got really pissed off on Twitter because a lot of people were like bitching about like, you're AEW, don't support your wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
They may have
Fuck
very
you.
well been there. They may very well have been there to support.
Oh, I'm sure they probably.
I'm sure they were.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, if your wife is getting a trip to Puerto Rico, why the fuck wouldn't you go?
The only person not allowed from AEW to go backstage at WWE. Well, never mind. I'm not going to talk about that today.
Yeah, no. So
look in my eyes. What do you see?
It's a lack of personality.
Okay, anyway.
So, and I think we've officially adjusted. I believe Dark also has gone off the air in an update there, Mike.
Dark has gone dark.
Dark has gone dark. R.I.P. some of my favorite commentary in all of wrestling.
Sorry, Serpentico. I hope this increased your indie booking rate.
What do we? Well, there's still Ring of Honor, which yes, it's become Dark and Elevation, with a different tone. I would say, and I like it, and I'm eating it up, and I'm honor clubbing, and.
Okay, can I complain about something though?
Go ahead.
So let me give
This is the place
flowers
for it.
to AEW first for showing WWE that the bullshit about we can't sell out in England was bullshit.
Well,
Finally,
wait, did WWE ever say that, or did like WWE Mark say that?
so it's a little bit heady, but there was so long after SummerSlam 2012, and then the Attitude Era, the UK only pay-per-views didn't sell the best because they were UK only pay-per-views. So there was, from my understanding, and someone in WWE may be able to clarify this later, that there was a belief that they couldn't do a major show in WWE overseas in England.
Oh, I think that was more due to timing than anything else.
Well, then it's
I've always thought that was,
bullshit in the
I've
internet.
always thought that was a timing issue. But
Maybe
since
it
they
was.
started doing the Saudi shows and those happen at noon,
Yeah.
And you don't have to
Maybe-
pay, and you don't have to pay $60 for one of those.
yeah, that's true. Now you can watch it on Peacock, so you don't have to pay like $60 for
that
people to
plus
wake up at.
again, who's the audience? What platforms? Right. That
Yeah,
we talked
I
about
always
earlier.
assumed that was a time zone issue
Well,
that has since been resolved because the internet has advanced.
then let me rephrase my thing. Congratulations to them for selling out Wembley. Wembley's a beautiful stadium, a lot of history. Should be a great wrestling event. Even without a card, it's going to be a hot crowd.
Mhm.
Now, Dark and Elevation.
Mhm.
This idea was supposed to be, this is where we showcase independent talent that we're interested in potentially signing to AEW contracts.
And reps for their
And
younger
give them
talent.
reps.
Yeah.
And give the younger talent reps. Except for the younger talent never moved up the roster. They stayed exactly where they are and worked dark match after dark match. When your up tier is, oh, I'm not working Elevation anymore, I'm working Dark, and then you have Dynamite and Rampage, and you can't get on either of those shows, and the indie talent that's being looked at is just, they're not getting good reps. They're getting 2-minute squashes. The best dark match I ever saw involved Bill Collier, and that's because that there was some give back to that. Like, that was a 6-minute actual match as opposed to a squash. And so, where are you finding these indie, like what was the point of this? To just get reps here?
There's a content play, first of all. With YouTube and contracts overseas. Which I'm curious what happens with with them going away. Maybe that's why they went away, because the contracts went away as well. So, meant to make way for something for Ring of Honor, perhaps. So one, I think
something for CM Punk.
Dark was a little bit extra content when they first started. Because they had the production there. They were putting more content out on YouTube just to get people to find out about AEW. Then it kind of became what I like to call the independent wrestling support program during COVID, right? And a lot of people got looks, and a lot of some people came out of that. Lee Moriarty, I think, came out of that system and upgraded to where he is now, right? And he's still he's very, like, we all know him as a very, very talented, but he's still very young in the business and converting the TV. So
maybe my bias is that, maybe that's my bias talking, is that I'm seeing a lot of these guys that I see week in and week out getting their shots on Dark and then going away for 6 months and then being brought back to the same spot they were in, and I'm like, where's the advancement? Like there's some people out there.
So you got Wardlow.
I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of that happening on the main AEW.
Yeah, Wardlow got a lot of reps from being out there in front of the camera, if not in the ring. He actually credited that in the FTR podcast that I helped produce out in LA. So, like, this did serve a purpose for a lot of this stuff. It did give a lot of eyeballs to a lot of people that did grow up into this. Didn't Eddie Kingston maybe a dark guy before he got signed, or did they bring him straight in for like a one-off on?
No, Eddie Kingston was a TBS challenger for Cody.
Okay, so there was that kind of stuff.
Well, that was on Dynamite.
I think a lot of people did get chances to do that, did get reps to do that, did get to test things out that maybe came up to Dynamite or not. It wouldn't always work out, right? But still, I think it did serve a purpose for that, and I think it is getting replaced by Ring of Honor to a certain point. Also, I don't think they need to showcase as many. I don't think they're we talk about that, Mike, you say every week about how there's too many people on that roster. So why are we looking in the indies for new talent as deeply? We don't need hour and a half of Dark to look at new talent anymore, because we have plenty. If we pick a couple from the extras we are getting, like a typical system like WWE does, like, I think it kind of, like, they're cemented in this stuff now, right? They're not.
Yeah, but then what happens to all the talent that was featured on those shows?
Well, the more people
come to
as far as
IndieWrestling.us and watch some of them.
Like now, I mean, I think it's a little bit of love letter to the indies, because I think there is respect to that. A lot of promotions got mentioned, including Defy, including things in Chicago, and I think Dark is at least in a part helpful to that elevation of the indies that's happened over, and re-elevation of the indies post-COVID, that brought an awareness to that kind of stuff, right? When you tune into to Dark and you're seeing Shaft out there and everybody is going bonkers for this guy, and like, he's a jobber on the show as a smart fan, but you're just like, I got to find out what this guy's about, and maybe showed a little bit in the match, but that reaction alone is like, who is this? The same thing that happened when Lee. Remember when Lee was popping up on Darks when he was in Pittsburgh, and everybody went nuts for him, right? So that shows you, hey, there's something over here, and we all got the Google machine, right? So we don't need them to spell things out for us, because we can go figure it out, right?
I get your point. It still is one of those things where I look at the talent that I work with, and while I don't want another 2012, 13, 14 rating of the indies, I think it would hurt us very badly, not just in Pittsburgh, the whole independent scene in the United States and Canada. It would absolutely – it took us – how long did it take us to rebuild after that raid? A long time. And we got there, and I don't want that again, because it ultimately hurts wrestling's feeder design. That being said, there are guys on the indies, girls on the indies right now that are super talented that there's just no spots for. And if the idea was supposed to be find that talent to elevate up to the main roster of AEW, I just don't think there's a good middle ground between indies and national right now. I was hoping that Dark and Elevation would do that. I was hoping NXT would be that way, but they're just not right now. And it's kind of upsetting to me as, first and foremost, a commentator of pro wrestling who sees these amazing wrestlers who are going so above their station right now, who really deserve that shot at the big time, and are just not being able to get there right now because there's no seats on the plane.
No, there's no seats, and there's only so many spots, and there's a lot of good talent, but there's also a lot of opportunities. Like, I think there's a lot of people like between Impact and New Japan. Like, there's a lot of good spots there. There's a lot of good indies out there that people are making livings on now.
And there are, like, there's other lanes going on. We just announced on RWA AJ Alexander signed with I think it's All Japan's dojo.
Yes.
So he's getting that shot. He's going to work under Tajiri. He's going to get that lane internationally. And it's so important that we remember that U.S. wrestling is not that far away from Japanese wrestling anymore because of the internet. Maybe the styles are different, but they're not far away. It's not impossible for me to find a New Japan show. In fact, it's super easy now compared to 10 years ago when I had to freaking buy bootleg DVDs from some shady guy on eBay for $25. Like, excuse me. And it might be the same guy we all bought DVDs from. But the point of the matter is that there are lanes still. It's just I was hoping that there would have been a path that is more secure for my guys, my gals, the people that I work with on the reg, because we got a lot of talent in pro wrestling right now, a ridiculous amount of talent. Some probably the most talent I've seen in pro wrestling in terms of pure athleticism, where they also can speak on the mic. It's ridiculous that these kids that are coming up are natural at pro wrestling. They get story because they've been eating it since they were so young, and we haven't hidden the concept of storytelling from them the way maybe it was done a few years back. Now they're growing up, understand the full spectrum of the business. Now we just need to teach them the safety aspects of it and polish some stuff up. And they're coming out and putting out these banger matches. Matt Yeager, first match at 2PW, opened the show against Gorgeous Gregory. those two guys are young as hell, hungry as hell, and they put on a phenomenal opening match. And they're super young.
Mm-hmm.
And they just came out of school.
So I think because you're talking about the path and that, you know, maybe being easier for other people coming up. I think you're missing part of the path that has happened. Because one thing that has happened is you have quality talent now across at least 3 major promotions, 2, 3-ish. It depends on how you define promotions, I guess. That now say, you know, my understanding is, you know, what's one of the biggest things, like as a new wrestler, you can say is somebody asks, "Who's your trainer?" Right, and your answer can open doors for you. And now you have people on AEW, WWE, Ring of Honor that they can say, "Who's your trainer?" And at least those 3 people can say Brandon K. So now I think there's a door open for people that train through Brandon K. Just like
and that's a good point. And I think everyone in this area, we all know there's like a handful of trainers and a couple others that are coming up. But there's
a lot of
there's
people,
names.
There's a lot of people on TV that we talk about that have been on the show that everybody's talking about that can name Super Hentai, Marshall Gambino, and maybe Chris LaRusso as
Chris LaRusso, Quinn Magnum,
and Quinn Magnum that got them there, right? And I only bring up Brandon K because he's the one with the solidified school and everything, and I don't think the others are anchored anywhere schooling wise. I know one has been I know one is working with one school, but I don't know what the relationship publicly is.
The point of the matter,
but the point is,
you have a good point. And it does mean a lot that we can say, like, when you look at Pittsburgh, when you watch a week of national television, including NXT right now, you are watching Rise 2, 3 sometimes, depending on how deep you're going into television. If you want to watch Lady Frost and Victor Benjamin do their stuff in online, a lot of people that are coming out of the Stronghold, and there's a lot of people also that, you know, Britt is an example of that, like that were trained from Pittsburgh, and those are guys that names that you and I know, that Mike knows, because we talk about them incessantly. You know, and I'm sure every area has those 3 or 4 teachers, trainer, you know, schools that if you are coming from this area, Nebraska or wherever, and you're taught by this person, instantly that's send me your stuff.
It's like who's your Monster Factory of the area? Who's your sorry, that's the only school that came out of my head. Who's your Create a Pro? Create a Pro?
Create a Pro.
That's of course that's a WWE guy in Brian Myers. But still, like you know, all those things.
Or Booker T does still reality wrestling.
Reality wrestling. Promise Braxton that we know from Rise started with Stronghold, went down there, and has been their champion. She just came back up. Yeah, came back up for a showcase. And my God, can I say, watching back, formerly London Ali, somebody else that's been on the show. I've only seen clips and stuff as she's been in Reality of Wrestling, watching that progress. But watching her come out on a Rise show, and seeing that difference in confidence from the last time we filmed her matches, holy shit! Like, she's a whole different woman, and my God, she's gonna go somewhere. Buddy Wayne Academy in Pacific Northwest. Everybody call your hood out.
Yeah,
everybody
give your props to the teachers out there in pro wrestling who are making this business better. Because there are a lot of shitty schools out there, and we preach up and down. And the guys that work in the business, not just myself, but the wrestlers too. Like, do your research before you sign up to the school. Don't sign up to the first school that's 5 minutes away from your house, because it's not always. But there's a lot of teachers out there, and they are reputable. They have paperwork. They have resumes.
I think
you are doing a job interview. Any young wrestlers who are watching this or want to join the business, remember, when you sign up for a school, you are interviewing them for the right.
Absolutely.
You are paying them for the opportunity to be trained. They are getting your money, so be vigilant in your training. Don't think you have to go there because it's the first person who said, we'll train you, sure. Talk to multiple schools before you sign up and give them a deposit.
Research it.
100%.
Even to the point, I know, like Moxley's book brought this up. He went to Luthez, well, he stumbled on them, but really stuck with it because that was Heartland was a pathway developmental for WWE at the time. Like something like that. Like, you know, some people, and not everybody has the ability to, I'm going to move to Florida and be part of the Dudley Boys Academy. I'm going to move to Davenport, Des Moines, Iowa, wherever Black and the Bold is with Seth Rollins, right? Black and Brave, yes. You know, like that is one path, but there is also, oh shit, I'm in Pittsburgh and this school in Uniontown has people every week on like 3 different programs. Like that's a big thing for you, right?
Yeah, not everyone has the ability to move down to Florida or move down to Carolina and sign up for QT. We understand that. But for every, you know, I preach about several schools in this area. I will, if you ask me, I'm not going to name them here because I don't want to give them credit. There are some schools out there in this area that are very close to me that I would not, if you said, hey, what do you think about this school? I'd be like, get the fuck away from them.
Yeah, and just because we work with them on their classes on Thursday nights, you know, MV.
Oh, they're fine.
You know, MV school as well. You know, who has got some great people that have had TV experience, have done some stuff. You know, have gotten exposure. You know, internationally. And they have people coming in doing classes with them that have been on TV, that have gotten people on TV, you know, up in the New Canaan area.
And they're getting safe reps. That's the big thing. Watching those, that's the thing. Safe reps against established talent.
And I know Rise is doing some great stuff down there, but I gotta say this for this, and this is like, and I think everybody's got a good relationship on that end too, from my understanding. So to see what the MV school has been doing, and that they've been doing weekly shows, and now those trainees who, to my knowledge, maybe 6 months to a year in the business, are now popping up on every fucking show we do in the area.
Yep.
Okay, and are stronger than some people that have been in the business for 2 years.
And that's because their first reps were in front of a camera, and they were learning, and they had active feedback. So when you do the stream for 880, they are going to be able to watch those matches back instantly, and instantly have feedback on, okay, this could be better, this could be better, this could be better. And they're not. It's not like it's 2 trainees wrestling each other and, hey, go throw the 7 minutes out there. Yep. Nope. It's you're wrestling MV, or you're wrestling the Runway, or you're wrestling Keith Hott. You know, you're wrestling people who have been in this business for a while and know not only how to put a match together, but also how to protect you.
There's a really I think you're aware of this too. There's one promotion that we work with that was trying to give reps to a lot of younger talent that didn't really have the opportunity. And there was like a horrible problem where half of the show was matches with people that did not know how to work a crowd, at all. And it was just killing the shows for a while there. And this is something that they don't have a problem with, because there is, even if there's 5 people in the crowd, because it's a free show, it's out there, it's been cold through the winter, like they have something, right? And they can go back and see what that looks like. Like, you know, most schools have trainer matches and stuff, and maybe there's a camera up in the corner, but it's not a 3-camera shoot with commentary, right? To see what is being accented and everything like that, and the character work and everything. And I think that's going to be the next, you know, also Stronghold, I think, is going to be like that. Like that's the vibe, you know. That's the something is happening here. Just like something was happening with Rise, something's happening with the Stronghold, and that's why we've, you know, said, what the fuck do you need? You know, how can we help? And then, you know, again with this, it's like you guys got something going on here. You know, 2PW has something going on and is getting something going on again. You know, like it, like this, like there's you know.
There's something in the air.
There's a sense of magic on a new project like that, you know, and everybody I work with now is somebody that I feel some kind of magic, some kind of growth opportunity for them, and want to help shove that in the right direction. That's why we feature their content on YouTube. That's why we talk about them on this show and give that time, because I don't talk about shit that I'm not fucking excited about on this show. Okay, I rarely bring somebody on to promote something that I don't believe in, and let them drone on about a show I don't give a shit about. That's not a thing that I fucking allow on this show anymore.
Unless it's me.
Unless it's Mike, and trying to
because Sorg will let me drone on about fucking anything.
So let me sell me on this WWE show and draft I don't give a shit about.
Sorg, you still need to watch. You know what, Sorg? If you want your Dark and Elevation fix, go to the cock, find Level Up.
Why do I want to do that?
That's your Dark and Elevation fix.
I got my Impact Wrestling I just started watching again today. I got my Ring of Honor Club. I got literally somebody sent a group message that says, "Hey, who wants to buy this DVD?" And it's like a Midnight Express reunion Ring of Honor DVD. And it's got like Bryan Danielson and somebody on it. And I'm just like, no, I have Honor Club. So anyways, I got plenty, and plus I need to research New Japan in the next week. So for business, no, it's God, I don't got time for Level Up.
Sorg, it's a half-hour show.
I know.
It's bite-sized.
Who's the commentators on that?
It's Vic Joseph and what's his name? It's gonna bug me. There's a new guy. It used to be the guy that just left the company, but they brought in a new person whose name I don't remember right now. But they're good.
If you told me it was either GQ Money or Jeremy Borash, even if you told me it's Sapolsky, I'd be in. What the?
No,
I know he does something over there. What does Sapolsky do? Because I've seen him at so many indie shows.
He's a scout, I think.
He's just officially a scout.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for like Dark Talent and stuff like that.
Well, that makes sense. Especially the shows I've seen him on.
And plus, Sorg, every episode of Level Up has a Kelly Kincaid interview that is just wonderful.
Oh yeah.
No, my cousin.
Yes, your cousin Kelly Kincaid.
She is the with all deference to Byron and to Kayla and to Mackenzie Mitchell. Kelly Kincaid is my favorite backstage interviewer in WWE.
Hey, and I hope I got her name right. Lexi Nair with AEW.
Lexi Nair.
Can I talk about a beef I got with the use of Lexi Nair recently?
Sure.
Okay, this is a little thing. This is not a big thing. This is not a heat with. I think Lexi is fantastic.
We're gonna blow this up into the biggest fucking problem with AEW today. Just wait for it. It's gonna be great.
But I think she is being underutilized as the I don't want to say vanilla backstage interview, although her at the start being rushed away at the beginning of Firm Deletion I thought was fun. Do you remember the interview show she used to do early on the YouTube channel? Wasn't that fucking...
She interviewed Abaddon, which was great.
It was always like this awkward interview kind of thing, and it was pretty much
Sorg.
It's pretty much a precursor to Hey EW.
Hey, I was gonna say they have RJ City now, and they have Renee Paquette.
But
they
she
don't
was
really
so
need
good, and that's what makes me sad, because she was so good and had some personality and had that awkward comedic timing. You know what I mean? And I was like, I wish she had. So that shows me she has more than just being a backstage announcer, right? I just want to see her in another, and honestly, maybe she's backstage doing some fantastic stuff like behind the scenes that she's pushing forward, right? But I just know she's not on my TV doing amazing things as much as she used to be on YouTube. So I would respectfully like her to get back to like something like that shows her off more. So sorry. That was just a little like thing.
No, that's fine.
I just like every time it's like, oh, good, you still work here, man. I wish they gave you some more, kind of thing. Like she was, and every once in a while she does a little bit of the stuff, but it's so backstage interviews are backstage interviews. I don't think RJ City is absolutely appreciated in his backstage.
RJ City role. Still, I don't think has even really been on Dynamite.
Oh, he has. He's interviewed.
Oh,
a couple of
forgot.
times. Yeah, he's been.
Sorry, it's been.
He's been Renee number 2 sometimes.
Okay,
Mhm.
but I have to say, AEW still has not missed.
Cheetah,
Hikaru
Cheetah.
The Sheeta episode.
Yes.
My God.
I learned
Getting
so
Sheeta
much.
to say that doesn't work for me, brother, is one of my favorite things I've ever heard in my life.
I learned Sheeta has a YouTube channel, and it is something else. Because I also follow Asuka's, and I haven't looked at it for a while because it was always just her. Like, I went and went to the store, and it's her like walking around do this. Sheeta does pole dancing and talks about things while sitting in the bathtub.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's out there, and hit that bell. I guess. So that's what I learned in wrestling today, which is a good segue. Tony Kincaid, what'd you learn in wrestling today, this week?
Gosh, that we should never look at Brock Lesnar's face when he tells us to. It just ends poorly.
I forget who it was. I think it was at what's her Dakota, I think is her name. The one interviewer out there. And they were like, somebody give me a gif of Brock looking straight in the camera and says, what was it? I want to fight you or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It is unsettling.
Haunting.
And it's haunting. It is haunting. But I need to save it for the right time in my phone. Because, oh my God. God.
So if someone attacks your camera people again, we're going to fight.
Mm-hmm.
See? There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Got that brand synergy.
Yes, and I'll send that to almost anybody except. I'm trying to think who in the indies still scares me enough that I wouldn't send it to them anymore. Most of them have gotten signed, so I'm pretty good right now. Shane Taylor, I wouldn't send it to Shane Taylor.
That's fair.
So, by the way, Shane Taylor, I love you. Because I know you like a lot of our shit, but I love when I have put the goofiest thing out, like I believe it was a picture of me in the Cheesehead at the airport, and then I see a like by, and his title just says, "The baddest man of all time," and sometimes I'm like, oh God, what did I do? So, just a Shane Taylor appreciation post here. Mad Mike, what'd you learn from wrestling this week?
Oh God, I learned a lot. So I learned something from NXT tonight. So apparently they tweeted a video where it was someone in a hoodie watching the attacks in the NXT parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all well and good. That's all fun. But they tweeted it out too. And Mustafa Ali goes, great concept. because of retribution.
Uh-huh.
Then Dijak responded, if U.S. people start dressing like this to sabotage the show, please count me out. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then Massey responded, honestly, the black was slimming. And that's what I learned. That's what I learned. Retribution makes you look slimmer.
I just like that we're no longer running away from prior stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like just Massey
on Twitter,
was a member of
they never
Retribution.
have.
Mm-mm.
On Twitter, they never have run away.
But
from
even during like WrestleMania, I haven't been on the show for a while. So like when WrestleMania and they talked about PWG and El Generico got mentioned, I lost my shit. Like I was.
Oh, I didn't know they mentioned El Generico.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and they even mentioned like I still think it's crazy that little Brody was on like he walks in both worlds now. Like
really?
Yeah,
I haven't watched back the show, so like
Oh,
I haven't seen any of the commentary or
Cody-
shots.
Cody before the match handed his ring belt to little Brody.
Oh,
Who was ringside.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was him.
And that's who Solo stole it from to use it on Cody.
See, I didn't see that because the video would have been his Tron when that happened, probably. So yeah, I would have had no idea. Okay.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
I've learned that this cheese head is not the right size for my head.
Well, you have a big ass head, and you're wearing headphones, so.
Well, no, the headphones are down. Oh, it's
And
only
also the
cheese
cheese heads, I don't believe come in sizes.
Well, there was a bigger one at the store on the other side of the security gate. So.
And plus, it's foam. You just have to mash it onto your head.
Yeah, it's kind of happened. I need
you
to
ever
form fit. I need to sleep with it on.
Have you ever done the hanger trick where you put it on your head and it forces your head to turn?
What?
Okay, try this at home, and for everyone at home.
No, please don't try anything with a hanger. We don't want to get sued. Just look up a YouTube.
As a part-time owner of Wrestle Mayhem show, this is completely look it up on YouTube. If you put it on your head, it will set off a reflex and you will turn your head the direction of where the hanger hook is. Plastic hangers only, please. It doesn't work with metal hangers, and you shouldn't own metal hangers in 2023 anyway, you psychos.
Hey, you can't control what the laundromat gives you.
I can control whatever I want. I'm Tony fucking Kincaid. Kincaid too.
Sometimes
Tony Cocaine.
Show title.
Secondary gimmick.
You always have to have one in the back pocket.
Friend.
You always have to have one in the back pocket. You know what I mean?
You think I'll get flagged for calling this
Tony Cocaine and his podcast friend Matt?
Fuck. I was having a good show until now. Cut the tape.
Cut the shit, Sork.
Tony Cocaine and rats in a trench coat.
Yeah. Great.
We'll see if that gets flagged later. We'll see what that does in Mid-Journey. Tina says, I've learned two things in wrestling. 17,000 singing along to Chambia?
Yeah.
Okay. Chef's Kiss. Yeah, that was fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Zelina's mom and the assist with the chancla.
Yeah.
God bless. Oh, yeah, the
flip-flop.
The flip-flop thing.
Oh, my God.
We're like if you had a Puerto Rican mother, you know what this means or something.
I was waiting for fucking Santana and Ortiz to just crash it, like shows called Takeover, right? Yeah.
But that'd be a nice debut, wouldn't it? So, oh my God, Tony Kincaid, thank you for joining us.
As always, it has been your pleasure, not mine.
I don't always agree with your opinions, maybe less so than Mad Mike sometimes, but I do appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you.
Mad Mike, well, we know what I think about your opinions.
Well, yeah, of course. My opinions are like assholes. Everyone has them, and, they all stink.
Yes, but, you have this podcast, so.
Hey, I didn't say the thing I usually say on this thing.
And I appreciate that. Don't start now.
And I had opportunities to.
Yes, you did.
I was even going to make a joke, and I didn't make it, and you should be proud of me.
No jokes.
When you were talking about Lexi Nair, I was going to make a joke. I'm not even going to say the joke. But I'm not going to make the joke. I'll tell you off air.
Guys, thank you so much. This has been your Wrestling Mayhem show. We'll be back next week. And I'm going to figure out who the guest is going to be. We'll see what that's going to be. Who should
see you guys Tuesday? See you guys Tuesday.
Next week, Tony Cocaine, everyone.
Tony Cocaine and Rats in a Trench Coat. Shit. What kind of week do you want to have next week? Do you want to talk about butts? We'll invite Emily Fear back. Do you want to talk?
I mean, we can always talk about butts. That's always,
We should have Bradley back, but I think we're past his bedtime. So.
Oh, we should have Emily and Bradley on for the butts v no butts debate. Yep. Mm-hmm.
We should have Emily Fear and Emily Doyle on, so we can have a really confusing episode. So,
sure. Two Mikes and two Emilys. Yeah, that won't be confusing at all.
Yes. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time. Mayhem out.
Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.